Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM Marketing Network Lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here. You are listening to us live on Building Fortunes Radio at www.buildingfortunesradio.com. For those people unfamiliar with my voice, my name is Peter Mingils, and we have a great guest speaker tonight on our radio show. Her name is Lisa Mercier. Lisa and I have been doing our radio shows together whenever she's available. When she's not traveling around the world, it seems like we've done shows when she's been in Dubai. We've done shows, I think we're supposed to do shows when she was in Mexico. We do shows all the time wherever she is. She's been in, she's hid away in, I think, closets and bathrooms just so she can get away from all the noise that she's been in associated with whatever she's been doing, building her business. I just love working with Lisa because she's so much fun. And I got to just kind of cue this up a little bit because she brings a special guest, and I'll let her introduce in a second, but he comes from or lives in Peoria. So I had a flashback from my Electrolux days when I was an area VP, and I had offices in Peoria. So I was in my direct sales manager mode, if you will, when I was thinking about this. So when Lisa said to me just before this radio show, well, what happens if Freddy, who's really busy, doesn't show up? I gave her my direct sales manager answer, which is, then we're going to do a radio show. I remember when I was knocking on doors and I was training people on how to get in when we were selling the vacuum cleaners. They said, "What do you do when it rains?" I said, "We get wet or we learn how to get in." What do we do when it's cold? We either freeze or we learn how to get in. So, Lisa, I'm sorry, but I gave you my direct sales manager approach, which was we're going to either do the radio show ourselves, and then Lisa, in true form, said, "Let me go get him." So he is here. Yeah. So Lisa said, "Thanks for the flashback," but thank you very much.
Problem.
Welcome on your own radio show,
Peter.
There you go.
I love coming on this show. It's awesome every time I come on here. And what's the best part is that I always get to introduce and interview new people. And Freddy, he is an amazing guy. We call him the godfather of our company. He is the heart and soul of the company. I'm so far down the line from him that I don't even think he makes money off of me. And he's one of those guys that, you know, there's been a time in my life about a year ago I was struggling really bad with wanting to be a leader, not wanting to be a leader in this company. And he actually sat with me and prayed with me. And I just thought that was really, really cool. Because in most companies, when you meet the millionaires, he's one of the millionaires in our company, there's usually kind of like a star status. And you don't actually get to hang out with the millionaires in all the other companies I've ever been in. But this one is completely different. There is nothing different between Freddie and I, except for his paychecks are way more than mine. But he's just an amazing guy. He, anyone that talks to him, he spent like 45 minutes with one of my team members last night and just really brought her back to her vision. And he's just got a heart of gold. So, Freddie, I would love for you to be able to share your story of how you came to our system, our company, and what the products did for you, and then also the income part of it that's been a blessing in your life.
Well, hey, it's great to be on with you guys, and what a introduction. And Peter that's interesting. He's been in Peoria, Illinois, but anyway, so yeah, I'll share my background really quick, but I went from fit at a high level performance. I was a national competitive bodybuilder in the States, and I was a personal trainer, and then, got married, started having children, and I switched gears with my career in 97, and I needed to make more money, and I started a construction company, and ultimately, between the family and construction, I got away from exercise and working out and eating good. And long story short, by 2010, I was just frustrated because I was way overweight, tired, miserable, had a lot of arthritis, a lot of pain in my body, and at 44, I was a mess, and I couldn't figure out how to get back out of that situation, and got a call on our program, and my buddy, who is a trainer of a lot of movie stars and trained Michael Douglas for 8 years, and he said, I got a system that's going to change your life, and started sharing that system with me and explained it, and so I started on the program, and he told me I'd lose 5 to 15 pounds in the first 8 days, and it was going to be comfortable weight loss because I wouldn't be as hungry, wouldn't crave carbs and sugars, and I'd have energy, and went on to lose 11 pounds in 8 days and 19 pounds in a month, 36 pounds in 90 days, down 55 pounds. I've kept it all over 7.5 years, and I went from a 42-inch waist to a 33-inch waist, and great things, other things happened. My pain is out of my body, feel awesome at 52. I take no meds now. Cholesterol went from 360 to 160, and just feel great. It's changed my life, and I knew by day 7 on the program. One thing I want to say, Lisa, is we do 2 things really fast. Is we give results quick, and we pay every day. We pay quick, and that's what people need, and that really is what gets them so excited. And but I knew by day 7 I was going to do this. I loved what we had, between the nutrition, the products, and the eating plan, the lifestyle plan, and the market's massive. I just, got to point this out to you. But, when I look around and I, the struggle of people and with their health, North America is the worst situation. It's a health crisis. And people are overweight, obesity, and diabetes are epidemic stages. And, obviously heart disease, the number 1 killer, and cancer, number 2, and stress, depression, and anxiety, has gone rampant. The number 1 prescribed drug in North America is antidepressant meds. People are in pain, they're hurting, they're tired. And we answer the bell on really all of those things. We make a difference for them. So I just said, I'm going to do it. And when they said they pay commissions every day and a monthly bonus, and I could help a lot of people, I went after it. And 90 days, I earned $10,000, and within 10 or 15 months, I was making $10,000 a month extra income, and put about 15 hours a week into that. I did everything on the phone. I never heard of Facebook in my life, and but obviously that's an amazing platform. But 3 years, I made $500,000. In 5 years, over $1 million, and now I'm going on $3 million in earnings. So that's kind of what's going on with me.
What a great story. So when you started, Freddie, I saw some pictures that they had put out there. Like you said, a professional bodybuilder. So they have a lot of discipline relative to that. So you spent a lot of time working out, a lot of time worried about what you were eating and things like that. And then, life gets in the way, right? You start, not that you had the kids. I know a lot about you, but I don't think you had them. I think you might have helped make them. But,
right.
Then all of a sudden now the kids are popping out, and you're doing all that sort of stuff. It's really easy for you to kind of get, you're how would I say, you're loyal to now the family, and all of those other pressures go into construction. From the gym into construction, you're usually dealing with a different type of mentality of people. So, you're dealing with that sort of stuff, scheduling, permits, everything from, I'm sure, general contractors to roofers, cement guys, all that sort of stuff. It's a different world. And then all of a sudden now you come into this network marketing thing where you're not developing calluses on your hands for sure. You're on the phone mostly, and it's a different mindset. It's a different work schedule. How did you make that switch? You'd have to almost be a totally different person, because it's a different skill level. It's a different work level. It's far less physically demanding, but it's mentally a little bit different. And usually guys that are used to physical stuff, they can manage stuff physically. You know what I mean? You got to build another muscle, just add a little bit more weight, concentrate a little bit more. It's more physical stuff than mental, whereas here there's a lot of rejection, if you will. There's a lot of things that don't work out. You're dealing with people skills. They're not always as disciplined as you were. So how did you manage those types of changes in mindset as well?
Well, what I really broke it down and kept it as simple as I could. And, I tell people, and I just talked to one of my mentors. I don't know if you know who Dan McCormick is, but
Sure.
I was just on the phone with Dan. Just about 30 minutes ago, and he called me and we chatted for a little bit. Anyway, but, breaking it down is very simple. It's, if you take the products or whatever you're doing, but take the products, talk to people, share the stories every single day. And if you're doing that and working on your mindset every day and becoming the best you can be, you're going to grow a business, especially if you have a great, I say we have great products, great eating plan, great comp plan, great people, great owners, great corporate guys. And the timing is just amazing with where we're at. But so early on, it wasn't all great. We had the first 4 years was pretty, it was rough. We were pioneering, but I just knew that, if I just stayed focused and consistent at what I needed to do every day, the time that I had, because I worked construction 12 hours every day. And, I was my own boss. I'm self-employed. So that created some discipline here, because I always tell everybody, you got to be committed and you got to want it in a big way. And the want to is way bigger than the have to, but you got to learn to employ yourself every day. And, but if I just did the basics every day, and it was taking the products, talking to people, sharing the stories, and plugging the tools in to duplicate, then, I was going to build a business. And I know, of course, there's a book out there called Go for No. And obviously that book is based on, the more no's you get, the more yeses you're going to get. And I understand that, but I was going for yeses every time I talked to people. And, of course I was going to, more people were going to tell me no than yes, but in my mind, they were going to eventually say yes. And it didn't bother me. I went right into it, not worrying about what somebody was if they're going to say no, if they might be negative. I didn't care, because my whole focus point was what I really want out of it. I wanted out of it. And I knew, that's what I had to keep in front of me was my big focus, my big why of why I wanted to build a second stream of income. And ultimately, sold my construction company 5 years into this, and I wanted time freedom because I had none, and ultimately I wanted to become debt free because I had a lot of debt, and now I'm debt free. And ultimately I wanted to, be able to get up in the morning and do what I wanted to do every day. And, the industry lends that to you because, it's based off what? It's based off of, exponential growth, and it's based off residual income, and it's based off of helping people, and it's based off becoming a leader. But the bottom line is this: it's a people business, and no matter what you do, if you want to do well, you got to build relationships, and I've always been great at building relationships. So that was kind of my mindset, and just being consistent every day, because the consistency of doing it every day, and keeping it basic. I knew eventually, it's a compounding thing. It's like building my body, Peter. Here's the deal. I related it to bodybuilding. And I knew that if I wanted to be one of the best, out there in bodybuilding, I had to go work out every day and do the repetitions and eat the right foods every day. Over time, I built the body, because the day after day, month after month, year after year, it compounded over time. And then business is the same darn thing. There's nothing any different than working out and getting in shape and that's just kind of my simple process of answering that question.
And there's really no shortcut, because if you wanted a muscle to look a certain way, there was nothing you could do today to make it look like that tomorrow if it didn't already kind of look like that already. So it's kind of like, it was going to be a 30-day program, a 60-day program, a lifelong commitment, if you will, like a mindset. So having that mindset from the bodybuilding and then the construction kind of gave you the habits that you used over here to make it a little bit easier. And obviously you've done that. Now, in reference to working with other people, many times you're working with people far less, let's say, as educated to those lifelong lessons as you. So how do you take somebody who's never maybe done that before and then help them to change their mindset to kind of do the things that you just said a little bit earlier. Like if someone's never done anything like this before, that practice, drill, and rehearse that you said a few times, how do you get people to kind of do those types of things? Use the product, share the product. I know you mentioned something else, and then use the tools. How do you get into that spaced repetition with that new person and really stress the importance of that?
Well, part of it is building your relationship, finding out what their needs and wants are, and why they would want to do this or whatever, whether it's just get on the products to have better health and look better, or whether it's to build a business. And, ultimately, I call it, you got to paint the picture and sell the dream. See, because they don't, my job is to get people to see it a little bit bigger. So if you can just take your hands and put them out in front of you about 6 inches, they can see it here. And then my job is to take the hands and put it out about a foot away and then 2 feet away. So when they get there 6 inches, they can see they can see this. And then I'm going to get them to see a little bit further and see what they can do and how they can grow. So it's painting the picture by sharing the stories, getting them to hear other stories. That's painting the picture, and selling the dream to get them to believe that they can also. If other people can, they can. If other people are living a better life, they can live a better life. So the dream is, what do they want? And what would they like? How would they like to design their life? And that's what I do with people. And then I get them to see it bigger and want it more. And you got to inspire people, and you got to get them to believe they can. And part of that is you put them on the phone. I do a lot of calls. I've done 90% of my business on the phone, so my phone is mobile. It goes wherever I go. And it's just people sharing the story. And they go, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And they hear enough of that, enough of people they can relate to, whether that be occupation or product results they're looking for or whatever. And that's all I do all the time. And then I tell them at that point, once I get them thinking, okay, then I tell them exactly what to do to get their business off the ground and running. Because you got to be a leader, and you got to be direct and to the point. I kind of find that sometimes people just give them too much. And, I tell my new people, here's what your job is. Your job is to share, expose. Here's some ways to do it. Grab attention, and then set up calls and get them on the phone with me, and I'll teach you how to introduce them and introduce me, and then I'll build a relationship with that person in a couple minutes, and I'll explain more, find out what they want, and give them a little idea what we got and how we can help them, and then go with that. And then people earn while they learn. So that's kind of my mix. Some people do a lot of Facebook. I'm not a Facebooker. I've gotten better at it, but I'm not spectacular at it. And but that's a great platform, and some of these other social media tools are great platforms, just like this is a great platform for people to hear this and learn more, or whatever it may be, So that's really all I do with people constantly. But then I drive people. If they're listening and they're doing, then I push them a little bit harder and get them to go a little further. Now, here's on the other side of the coin. If they say they want to do it and they're not taking direction or listening, I love on them a little bit, but I don't spend a lot of time with them. I teach all my people this. Give the people that deserve your time, give them your time. And the ones that don't. It might sound a little cold, but it's just the reality.
Excellent. We're going to do this. We're going to take a little commercial break. We're talking to Freddy Elias and Lisa Mercier on her radio show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized website, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we're here working with Lisa Mercier, and we have Freddy Elias. My name is Peter Mingils. We're talking about building a direct selling network marketing company and some of the leadership skills that you develop along the way. When Freddy was talking about some of the things that he was talking about, he really he's crawling inside somebody's head, mushing their brains around a little bit, seeing what's there, and if they want it and they're doing the things that are necessary, he'll spend the time and train you. And there's probably nothing magical. Like, you don't need an exceptional IQ. You don't need, to learn a new language. Mm-hmm. You don't need to do anything. You just need to apply the principles that he's willing to teach and do the work every day. And that's the beautiful part about that is that means anybody that wants to can learn how to do it. And then, Freddie, you said it really nicely, whereas, you work with them until you find out if when you're inside their head and you're mushing it around and you're finding out why they're working or why they're not, those people that react, then you work with them. And those people that don't, you kind of bring them, you still love on them, like you said, but you don't spend that dedicated time. So if you're listening in and you've ever spent some magical time with Freddy, that means that he believes in you. So holy cow, take advantage of that and work with Lisa as well. And then, when you find somebody, Freddy, you could live a lifetime and never find somebody who's going to take a personal interest in you like you've taken in your people. And they could, you can help them get anything they want because everything can be probably taught. You had mentioned the Givens. You guys have a great product line, an excellent compensation plan, management like no one's ever seen, support, tools, trips, rewards, everything is laid out there. That's not in question. Now the question is really the individual and whether they want it or not. So just like the guy in the gym, just like when I was selling vacuum cleaners, all of that sort of stuff is really you gotta wanna. And if you do, we'll train you. And that's what I hear from Freddy Elias. And then, that's super duper powerful. Now, have you, as you're growing through your business and you're making like extra money as you're doing right now, and this has become a lifestyle, do you have some examples that kind of shine out with maybe people that you've helped that you'd like to share with us now? Because I know you said you like to tell stories.
Oh, man. I do. I just do have some great stories. And, a lot of people, sometimes I get this, a couple times a month, and I'm sharing my story, and they're like, what's it like to make that kind of money? I mean, in the last 60 days, I think I've earned, $36,000 or whatever it is, or no, whatever, something in that range. But I said, I don't really think about it because I'll be honest with you, I grew up in a very humble lifestyle. We didn't have much money, and my mom used to say, what's important as long as you have a roof over your head and food on your table, nothing else really matters. And I understand that. I've never deviated from that thought process. I mean, my wife and I always talk about it. It's like, can you believe what's happened in our life? I struggled a lot of my adult life financially. And, so I tell them, this is what I say, I don't think about the money I'm making, and I always tell my leaders, and I've told this to many leaders in the company, always stay humble. Because, when you're making a lot of money, it can change you. Stay humble and be the best leader you can be and pay it forward to others because that's what matters. But, your income is the reflection of how many lives you've changed. And in our case, it's physically, financially, and inspiring people to do more and become more than they ever imagined in their life. And that's what's important. It fuels my fire when I see lives change. And then I say, so when they ask that question is, what's that like to make that kind of money? I go, I don't really even, it's like I don't think about it. What I think about is, the Lisa Mercers of the world, that her life's changed, and she's making a great six-figure income and is going to make greater and going to be able to help her family more and other people more. Lori Ulrichs of the world, when I met her, she was struggling financially. They were about ready to lose their dream home, couldn't afford it, and they were going to have to move their children into an apartment building from a dream home. And I'm like, I just helped her build, and she made $35,000 her first year and $130,000 part-time last year, on pace to hitting $225,000 in income this year part-time. And I do, and the same thing with my buddy Tom Gillis, who was a former Major League Baseball player, and 48 years old. He was struggling, and now he's getting ready in about 2 or 3 weeks go over $1 million in income. And I can tell you many of those stories. One of my buddies was bankrupt, lost his home and cars, and it was a struggle. Had to move into a small little apartment, and he's made about $1.5 million in 7 years, and then they're back on top and living that lifestyle. And so it's just fun to be able to see it. It's fun to help people make $1,000 a month that where they can get their kids in better schools, or not have to stress over their mortgage. And that's all we do. And so when you can help those kind of people, and you can make a difference and build relationships and become a family, and it's not just a business. It's about building relationships with them and getting to know them as family. That's the biggest thing I emphasize. It's not about me. It's about what I can do for you, and that's fulfilling for me. And that's all I do. I mean, it's just something that drives me in a major way.
So you've had some great examples as far as financially. Have you had some examples, and I know your organization is big, but have you had some examples of people physically, like lose weight, that were challenged before?
Oh, yeah. One of my great buddies, Brian Martin, he was a big guy. He's only 5'8", but he was 290 pounds. He had a 50-inch waist, and he was, he just wasn't it sounds crazy, but man, he was tired all the time and struggling with his health, and he was struggling, his wife was frustrated with him because he didn't want to even cut the grass. He didn't want to do anything. He was just tired. Didn't want to shovel the snow on the driveway, and it just became a frustrating thing in there, for her to have to push him. And but on our program, 8 days, like I said, people lose 5 to 15 pounds. He lost 15. He lost 28 in 30 days. And he lost 50 pounds in 90 days, and 70 pounds in 9 months, and 105 pounds. He went from a size 50 to a size 34-inch waist, 16 inches off his waist, and he's kept it off for over a year. And I was just in a little town you probably never heard of, Lagodi, Indiana. And I was there 2 weeks ago, and this group's brand new, about 90 days in, a little town of 3,000, little country town. And, the stories, we had 55 people at our first presentation there, and the stories were unbelievable. One gal down, she said, she needed to lose weight. She goes, I wasn't worried about my weight, but she said, I'd lost 15 pounds in 25 days, but what's important is my blood sugar was running like 250 on insulin and metformin, and she says in 25 days my blood sugar is normal, which is 70 to 100, and she says I'm off my medication. Wow. So when that's the impact that we see constantly. And remember, now I'm not a doctor, I'm not making claims, I'm sharing stories. That's the biggest thing I can tell you.
Excellent. So in reference to your friend, who lost all that weight, maybe even saved his life, because the track that he was on probably didn't have a good prognosis for living for a long time. So not only did you help 100%. Him financially, if he's doing the business, helping him with that stuff, and the gal, as far as the insulin and the medicine, the expenses, the wear and tear on her body, all of those types of things. So when you can wrap health and money together and then keep yourself grounded, you can't get any better than that. So where do you see, we're almost done, where do you see this happening for you sometime in the future? Because you're on track. Once you get this snowball going downhill, it gains momentum. And there's no reason for you guys to slow down, because it's not like the health of the United States is instantly going to miraculously fix itself, and the economy isn't going to be like everybody goes and, makes $1 billion. So where do you see this going for you now and moving forward?
Well, I see big things. We've laid a great foundation for our company. Our first year, which was 2010, we did $5 million in sales, and we grew every year consistently to $15 million the second year, $25 million the third, $35 million the fourth. Kind of plateaued our fifth, sixth year. We did $50 million. Last year, or 2016, we did $65 million, and we did $105 million in 2017. So we've laid a great foundation. Took a big jump from 16 to 17, and we're on pace right now, through the first quarter anyway, to do $170 million. And yes, you're right. We're struggling. People are struggling with their health issues. It's just the way that we've gone in our country, and probably I say North America, but the way we do it. And financially, there's just a lot of unknown out there. You never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow we could wake up and, unfortunately, gas prices could be $5 a gallon for no reason or for a little reason. We could it's just crazy. It's not a stable anything anymore. So people are looking. They're open. The industry's growing, and it's exploding. And people are looking for a better avenue. And the bottom line is we've got something where they can get involved for a little amount of money, and they can start building a business. And I tell people it's not a job. You already got one of those. Job, J-O-B, stands for just over broke for 99% of the people out there. This is a business that could change your life. And that meaning for everybody is different. $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $50,000 a month, whatever it is. I'm saying it, that can happen. It's happening for many people. But it's a part-time business that can create a full-time fortune for some people if they go after it. And, you can condense 30, 40 years of work of a job into, 3 to 5 years for some people. That's really all, that's the bottom line. So a lot of great things going on. The social media is brought people together. The world is much smaller. So with a click of a button, you can reach out to thousands of people with a message. So that's changed the dynamics of the industry. The economy's changed the dynamics of the industry. It's just a different world that we live in. And so it's just booming, man. So there's just great things happening all over the place. But, again, it's got to be a perfect storm because there's lots of companies. Thousands of companies out there. We're an 8-year-old company that's in the top 100 of all the thousands of network companies out there. We're in the top 100 in the world in just 8 years. But yet have laid a foundation to where we are stable, to where we could handle major growth in the future. So I believe that we will be a legacy company, and I've been saying that for a long time, even through the first 4 years, which were really rough for us. But we had to work out some things, and I believe that there's going to be people like Lisa that will become legacies in the industry of network marketing. There's no question about that.
Excellent. We've loved doing this radio show because we've heard from so many people and their stories. And overwhelmingly, the people that we've spoken to say, I got my life back. And that's huge. So the idea that you can make such an impact on some people, it's just amazing. So I just want to say thank you. I know it's late over where you are. Thanks for being here. Lisa, I'll let you wrap it up, please.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, Freddie, I'm always inspired by what you say, and I feel so blessed. A lot of people know that my story is that I usually call myself the 7-time loser in multi-level marketing, and I didn't want anything to do with this business, and I just feel so beyond blessed that I gave it one more shot, and you were part of the the top who like paved the way for all of us. And I just feel really, really blessed to have you be our godfather of the company. And I don't know if you like that title or not, but that's the title we've all given.
I know, and I don't know if I like it either, but it makes me feel old. But anyway.
No, you don't. We didn't say grandfather. We said godfather.
Right. I gotcha.
But if you had advice for a brand new multi-level marketer, if you could go back to when you first started, what would be the major tip that you would give?
Well, the major tip would be, know what you want out of it. And you got to design your life, and you got to believe that you can. And I think a lot of people don't, they say no, or they say, I just want the product, I don't want the business, because they don't really know what they're looking for, and at the same time, they don't believe they can. And my biggest thing is you got to believe in them. You got to believe in people. Because I just tell them, commit yourself for a rock solid, I always break it down, 90 days and then for 12 months. And then be consistent every day, go after it every day, talk to people every day, share it every day. And then, of course, work on your mindset every day and know that you can do it, know that you can achieve great things, and just keep it basic and simple. The biggest thing is keep it basic and simple, and that's what I tell my people. And again, when they start, I said, your job is of one. Your job is to share, expose, grab attention, and get as many people on the phone as you can, or in front of, in a meeting or presentation, whatever. But, today's world is, people are out working every day. They have kids and activities, but the technology world that we live in with, messaging, texting, and, Zoom and three-way calling, it's something that they can do wherever they go. So just do a lot of it every day and learn to master the stories. And everything is all about your story. And in our case, it's about your 8 days on the program with the 8-day challenge detox. It's, what you do your first 30 days in the business, and what you do in 90 days, and build the story, because the story is everything, and that's what I tell them, go after the biggest story that they possibly can with the products and with the business. So that's pretty well it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Freddy. I just feel very blessed that we've had your time tonight. I know how busy you are. It's a challenge to even lock you down sometimes. So I feel very blessed that we've been able to hear your whole story and for everyone to be inspired by you. So I know we are out of time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Freddy. All right.
Bye now.
Oh, thanks for being Freddy. Thanks for being here, and for all those. I know what it's like to spend the extra time with people, and you might be, you sometimes say to yourself, I'm spending this extra 20 or 30 or 45 minutes with this person, and who knows if they're going to make it or not, but you have the belief that they can make it, and that makes a big difference in their lives. And then they get a chance to do that with other people as well. So the ramifications of your kindness just are huge. So we really appreciate that in the industry too. So thanks everybody for being here on Building Fortunes Radio. This is the reason why we do this radio show. Lisa, thanks for being here. Thanks for bringing Freddie. Good night, everyone. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingils. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.